15 years old, I was invited to go on a backpacking trip to Yosemite National Park, and this was the first time I was able that I went. At our first year, when we did our trip, we ended up and started in Tuolumne Meadows, which is on the eastern part of the Yosemite. And that day we did about a 6 mile hike all the way up to some lakes called Young Lakes. And I had never backpacked before really in my life. And so we did a lot of switchbacks and realized I was a little out of my element, but it was pretty. And we finally made it that night. Because of the bears in Yosemite, we have to put up all our food in the bags and then hang them from the trees. Well, me and my friend, we didn't really know what we were doing, and so we tried to put it up in a tree, but we got it all tangled. There were six of us, so there were 6 bags of food, and we all settled in for the night. And in the morning, we went to go get our food for breakfast and realized that a bear had for somehow either crawled out on the branches and knocked down 4 of the bags and got into all that food. And the 2 bags that were left hanging were mine and my friend's that we got all tangled up in the tree that he couldn't get. So we had a decision to make because most of the food was gone, whether we turn back or we continue on. And we decided to continue on. And we had to ration out my food plus my friend's food, and it was kind of hard because we had 2 men that were over 200 pounds, and they were going to be eating our food of oatmeal and trail mix and all and Mountain House meals. But we were able to. It was a 6-day trip. We cut it down to 5, and we really hiked a lot so we can get through because we started to get really hungry. But we made it down and down to the valley, and we pigged out on as much food as we could get. And then, but it was first experience with the bear. So a lot of our hikes took us up and over summits, and so you could see all of the as we went up, all these alpine lakes. It was just covered trees around, and the water was freezing because it was just all by snowpack. And sometimes when we would go up one side and down the other, we would find snowfields that we would have to hike down. Sometimes we would slide down on our packs, and other times we would even make if the snow was good, we had Kool-Aid packets with us and made slushies out of the snow. But very cute, cool views from the top, and we were probably about 8 to 9,000 feet up. So one of the lakes that I loved to go to, it was called Babcock Lake, where we swam out, and they had this huge rock in the middle of the lake. So as we went out there, some of us decided to climb it, and then were able to cliff jump into the water. I didn't do it, but my friends did. I was the one taking the picture, and it was, again, cold water, and we needed to make sure that we didn't get hypothermia. It was June, but it was still freezing, but we had a lot of fun doing some cliff jumping. So another hike that we did was going down the Yosemite Falls. Yosemite Falls is made up of upper and lower, and they were beautiful to see. And this was the view from up on the side of the falls as we hiked down. And you could see all the different landmarks. You could see Half Dome. You could see El Capitan, which is a famous rock that rock climbers all over the world come to. But it was water was beautiful, and it was so loud we couldn't hear each other as we did our hiking. So the next year we wanted to go back to Yosemite and this time do Half Dome. And so Half Dome, you can get to it by either going straight up from the valley or going from around, and that's what we did. And so we were hiking, and when we get to Half Dome, there are 2 mounds that we had to go up first. The first one is all granite made out of switchbacks and rock that we had to go up to, and then we got up to the point where the cables started. The cables were into the granite, the Half Dome itself, with 2x4s every 5 feet, and so we had to climb all the way up that, and it was pretty scary looking down because we could see drop offs, and I was afraid of heights, but we made it to the top, and it was a beautiful view. And our group wanted to take pictures by the side, and I stayed back as far as I can because I was not comfortable being afraid of heights.